All right, let's do this. It is Saturday, March 28th. This is going to be a look at the Dow 30. I think this is the best video of the week, in my view. It's most useful to me anyway. Looking through all 30 will tell you all sorts of things. Keep in mind that, of course, we now have just 2 trading days left of the month. So start with Apple. Apple's down 5.8%. It's the third month low of 4, sitting on the 10 MA. So Apple's doing better than many other stocks. I will note though, look at this. There it is. There it is. That's what you need to see. That's the important bit. Momentum is going to turn negative no later than April the 1st, and it's going to stay negative. You could easily have a down wave like this. Note that in the April down wave, we hit the monthly 50 MA. That is currently 196. That's a fair old way down, right? That's $52, 23%. That looks pretty realistic. Yep. Bearish. AMGN. New historic high, but a full reversal. Again, even the boring stocks, even the stocks, the big defensive stocks, they're getting smashed. Down 10.1%. Absolutely bearish to the 10 MA, currently 316. Momentum has just started to roll over. Amazon, the fourth month lower of 5, currently down 5.1%, 199. Look at the spiky candle. That's indicative of selling into the bounce. Momentum is increasingly negative, bearish. Soft target is this price threshold, which is currently around 173. That's $26 down. American Express, the third consecutive month lower. Note the two little spikes here, indicative of a key top, and we're right at the low. We're sustainably under the 10 MA. Next support is below Bollinger 238, which is $20 above the April low. Momentum turned negative as of February, bearish into and across April. Boeing. Hang on. All right, we resume. Boeing down 16%. Whoa. Horrible, right? I mean, they tried to rally it in January and the sellers came in February, and down we go. Momentum is set to turn negative as of April the 1st. Bearish. You could look for maybe 140. Caterpillar. February exhaustion high marked by a spike, down 6.4%. Basic target 10 MA 552. Momentum has just started to roll over. Salesforce, horrible. They keep trying to bounce it, right? But look, it's down 7.9%. Look at all this ping pong action here. Bam. Basic target is this price threshold around, what is that? 133-ish. Momentum's zero sign of a turn. Look at the volume. Big selling volume here. Who can blame people for wanting to get out of this? Cisco, another boring company that people don't care about, but it is actually up 0.6% on the month. But this February candle marks a short-term high. I would accept it's absolutely still midterm bullish. There's no clear sign of a turn. To be bearish, you need to go into 73. Momentum is weakening though, and the cautious will have a very tight stop. Chevron, new historic high. Look at it. Look at it powering up. It's from 126 to 212. Zero sign of a turn. Yeah, we're overbought, but hey, if oil goes to 147 or higher, as seems an eventuality, what are we looking at here? 250? 300. Oh, look, the momentum is accelerating upwards. Oh, look at the volume. Highest volume since March of 22. Got to be bullish oil and the energy stocks. The mouse of Disney down 12.8%, 92s. Soft target 82. Momentum has turned negative. Bearish the woke mouse. Goldman. Goldman was one of the more resilient financials, but you can see that January had a spiky top marking bullish exhaustion. And yeah, now we're in the early stage of breaking the 10 of May. Momentum is going to turn negative. Probably, yeah, momentum's going to turn negative in April. So bearish in April and early May. Basic target probably 655. I would keep in mind last April low, which was 430. That's a long way down. Whoa, that's 46% or so. Bearish the squid. Home Depot. This is ugly. Down 14.9%. Look at the little spikes here. They tried to rally in January and February, and nope, in come the sellers. And actually, ooh, oh, wow. Uh, okay. This is this might not okay. Firstly, look, you could say this is a bearish candle for sure, of course. But I've been noting this for Microsoft. The monthly 50 MA. It didn't break last April. It didn't break in 2022. Look at them spiking it here. Look at that. It didn't even it did briefly break it in 2020, but you never had a monthly settlement under it. And you can see the rebound in April. This is actually an extraordinarily bearish event. I know most of you don't care. You should. This is warning me of far grander problems now. Again, basic target would be this price threshold around 250. That's $70 down, which is about what? 20, I don't know, 23, 24%. But the actual break, that break, I mean, basic target's that. But COVID low 121? Oh, that's crazy, right? That's $200 down. That would be what, 60, 67, 68%? Oh, that's crazy talk, right? Yeah, that's crazy talk. Yeah, it is, right? Sure it is. Yeah. Maybe you need to stare at this chart for a good hour. I think you do. I really think you do. I really think you need to think about what this little event here is. What is this telling you? Because it didn't happen there. It didn't happen in the COVID hysteria, but it's happening now. Of course, I've been focused mostly on Microsoft, but here's another one. Here's another one that is this stock supports the notion of a grander market crash, collapse, what do you want to call it? It almost amuses me how people will be completely dismissive of this. It's extraordinarily bearish. And of course, the month hasn't settled, and maybe we settle March above 325. It's only $3.50, so maybe we can avoid that. But you got to think April's got to settle under it, in which case 250 becomes easy. But I think that technical break, yeah. Moving on. Anyway, new historic high, but a full reversal, down 8.4%, bearish engulfing candle, very bearish, a clear turn candle. Again, this is one of those stocks in the Dow that nobody cares about. I mean, I care about it, but but you don't, and most other people don't. Very few do, but it's one of the big defensive stocks that catch a bid when there's problems. But no, even this one is now broken. Momentum has leveled out. It's going to weaken. Should turn negative. Maybe not until May, but bearish. Honeywell. IBM. Look at this. Spiky, 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 spiky. Snap. You can see, look at that spike there. You can see they tried to bounce it, right? They tried to bounce it, and then the sellers came in again. They're selling it. They're selling every bounce. Big money is selling to dumb retail. That is what is happening here. Do you understand that? Big money is selling. Big money was selling IBM all up here. And the only people are buying are dumb retail. There's still dumb retail still buying here. Basic target, lower Bollinger. What's that? 181, which is also around the 50 MA. Momentum turned negative in February. Bearish. IBM. J&J. New historic high. Again, another defensive stock that even this one started a reverse. Down 3.2%. Momentum is still a touch higher, but it's going to roll over. Bearish. JP Morgan. Third month low. Note the January candle marking a midterm exhaustion high. We're now sustainably under the 10 MA. Momentum turned negative this month. Bearish. Basic target 250. Lower Bollinger is offering 198. I would note the last April's low of 199, which is what is that? That's $83 down, which is what's it 83 on 282? 32% or so. 32%. Yeah, that's where we're going. Coca-Cola down 6.5%. Even the old boring defense stocks are going, the defensive bid stocks are going down. Next, of course, is McDonald's. Very similar. I think that was a new strike high. I need to check again. What was the high? Yeah, it did break a new strike high by 40 cents, but we have a full downside reversal, bearish engulfing candle on the 10 MA. There's no way that's got to hold. Again, we could have a little bounce into early April, but it's irrelevant. Clearly, we're going to come down to the 50 MA. Again, this is like Microsoft and Home Depot. Now, Microsoft has broken the 50 MA. Home Depot has broken it. You got to wonder if this loses the 50 MA. That's a problem. It's such a monstrous thing. Again, look at it. Look at the COVID bounce there. Look at the bounce there. I think it takes that out. I think it's got to take it out. The implications of taking that one out are huge. You won't hear anybody else talking about this. It's just me. Momentum is going to turn negative, by the way, as of Wednesday, April the 1st. Oh my God. Bearish McDonald's, but I will say the fries are pretty damn good on a winter's day. 3M. Another company that people don't care about. February candle. New strike high, but they came in and sold it hard. Look at it. We're down 13.5% already this month. Again, look at this. Look at how we're now testing this price threshold that goes back better part of a decade. There's no way that's going to hold. Momentum has turned negative this month. What are we looking at here? Lower Bollinger 120. That's an easy target. That gets us back to the April low. Yep. Bearish. Merck. We have a long-term double top 124s. It's only down 2.7, but that is a double top. Momentum is still ticking up. So I can accept people holding it, but it's probably going to roll over soon. I mean, maybe you have a stop at the Previous low of 112. I mean, but yeah, that's a double top. Ah, there it is. The Microsoft. So Microsoft is midterm horror from last year's 552s. It is currently down 9.2%. I've been talking about this for the last 3-4 weeks. Look at that. We have taken out the 50-month moving average. We did not do it last April. We did not do it in late 2022. We did not do it in March of 2020, but we have taken it out now. If we settle under 365 on as of the Tuesday close, I could accept we could maybe settle above it. If there's a main market reversal, maybe we get above it. But it's like it's not going to hold in April. So if either it settles below it now or it does it in April. But the fact it's already broken it, which it didn't do in either of these instances, my target is at least 207. I'm rounding that down to roughly 200. That break is monstrously important. Most don't care. Most are in denial. Nike. It was a stock I was interested in for the last few months, but yeah, the main market rolled over, and it's like it broke. It couldn't hold. It's done. Nike's down 16.8% now. Again, earnings are Tuesday, which is March 31st. So it's the biggest earnings of next week. Tuesday after hours. I'm sure they'll be okay. But look, it's printed a low of 51.20, which is just above last April's low. And actually, if you pull it out, let's go about 15 years. I'm just wondering where can it go? Uh, yeah, 45s, 43s. There's a problem here. I mean, this is a magnificent example of a long-term trend line. Look at that. I mean, it doesn't get any cleaner. It's beautiful. Again, it tried to floor. If I go back, remember here, Tim Cook was buying, the CEO of Nike was buying, but look, they were the market said no, we're going down. Moving on. Oh God, NVDA. This one always gets people hysterical. Oh, so you see, they tried to bounce it, and they failed. We now have a sustained breakout of a Teneme. Stock's 167, down 5.5%. Soft target 150. Grounded target, lower Bollinger, currently 92s. That'll soon be around 100 in April and May. So yeah, maybe in May we'll be looking around $100. Implications for the S&P would be 5,500 to 5,000. Again, there it is. I've been talking about this now for a few months. None of you, well, not none of you. I don't want to be too snarky or, or moody about it, but you didn't care here, right? You didn't care. You a few of you started to care here. Now you're starting to care. Momentum's negative. I told you it would. April. What's April going to be? Somewhere down here, right? What's May going to be? Somewhere down here. It's done. Bearish. Again, keep in mind that we could easily bounce into the Easter holiday, but I'm not going to get anyone getting excited about a 3, 4, maybe 5, 6, 7 day bounce. So what? I don't care. To me, that would just be a shortable opportunity. Bearish Nvidia, and bearish that CEO Jensen. Yeah, he's a problem. Procter and Gamble, another boring stock that most of you don't care about. They rallied it January, February, even the big money, right? the big money, the smart money, they're selling everything. This is a monstrous drop now. We're down 14.5%, negating basically the last 2 months. Again, look. Oh, look at that. Look at the 50 MA. We did actually break it briefly. And look, again, look at how we held it. Look at how the 50 MA is pretty important support. 2020, spike. October 22, spike right off it. Isn't that amazing? What are we looking at here? 100, 111, 109-ish basic target. Momentum was trying to tick up with a bit of a reversal. Bearish. Sherwin-Williams, another company that nobody cares about except me, down 12.8%. A lot of chop. Not exactly very exciting, but still. Typically note again that the 50 MA. Look at this. 50 MA support. Look at that. Look at that. A little brief break there, but still. Momentum rolled over. Bearish. Travelers. New historic high, but a full reversal down 7.2%. It's borderline bearish engulfing candle. I expect the 10 MA to fail in April. Big target, probably the April low of 226. Momentum is set to turn sustainably negative as of Wednesday, April the 1st. United Health, dragged down by the main market. You see they bounced it and they stalled. Bearish engulfing candle there. Just a mess. Bearish. Down 11%. Momentum it was trying to rally, they've stalled it. Are you going to think we're going to come down to at least here? And I'm starting to think, considering the main market now, we can start to think about the COVID low of 169. Yep. Visa, down 7.7%. A lot of chop. It's not a great, in my view, it's not a stock I would bother shorting. It's a lot of chop. And the volatility it's not a very high beta stock. But I guess you'd say it's starting to get a bit more interesting. But yeah, bearish, basic target, the 50 MA 273. Momentum's increasingly negative. Verizon, new historic high. Don't see a lot of that these days. Up 0.3%. But again, even this one's being restrained by the fact that the main market is down. So momentum's still ticking up, but at some point they're going to drag this back down. In my view, basic target would be around 43, 44. I can understand people holding it. I get it. I know people who do. It's like, fine. And Walmart, king of retail, down 3.8%. Again, note the February candle is spiky, indicative of exhausted bulls. Basic target is the 10 MA, currently 108. Momentum has started to weaken. So April's could be down, probably May. I guess it could level out June, July. But yeah, bearish Walmart. Not a great short. I won't short it. It would be one of the last things I would short because one, it's a very successful company. There's better shorts out there than this, right? Let's have a look at the Dow itself. So Friday closed down 793 points, 1.7%, 45K. There's the Pam Bondi top of 50,000. That's real irony there, right? Yep. Weekly charts. So what's that? 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 week down of 7. Note that we broke there. And now we're under the 50 MA on the weekly. I would note in the previous cycle, in April, we spiked from just above the 200 MA on here. So you know, you can look for maybe 40,000 support so I'm looking for like a little Easter week bounce. So maybe we have a bounce here. And I've highlighted, regular listeners will know, and readers and my subs should know. Maybe we should be looking for that little chop for a week, maybe a week and a half, and then bam. So yeah, that's my guess. Chop, chop, bam, 40K. Again, 50K to 40K would be a 20% drop. It doesn't merit any hysteria. It would just be a washout. But more broadly, this is where it gets real interesting. For the month, the Dow is currently down 3,811 points, 7.8. We're probably gonna settle the month under the 10 MA. A natural target would be lower Bollinger, currently around 39,000. Let's just call it 40,000. Let's just round it off. 40,000, which is still above the April low from last year. We're no longer overbought, so we got to 70 RSI and down we go. That's a very bearish candle, isn't it? There's zero sign of a floor down. And on a monthly chart, momentum has turned negative. Now it could easily settle the month positive, right? It could, if we have a reversal on Monday, as I suspect, and maybe Tuesday's up, maybe we'll pop back up positive. But as of Wednesday, April the 1st, momentum will be sustainably negative. That's a problem. It's a big problem. So I think Dow 40,000 is pretty straightforward, but probably not next week. Maybe, 2-3 weeks out. Yeah. So I think there's some interesting stuff in there. The one that stands out to me was Home Depot. The fact that that's also started to. We're gonna jump back to Home Depot. Maybe that's the one I'll end with. Yeah. To me, that little, it's subtle, but it's like it reminds me of Microsoft, and also the fact that it just, again, most people won't notice. They'll have no idea. They'll have no idea about this. If you think about all the stuff you read on X and anywhere else, no one's talking about this. No one's talking about the fact that Home Depot is down almost 15% on the month. Yeah. So I guess I keep Microsoft as like a prime signal, but this is now, yeah, let's be another prime signal. What's my secondary signal, I guess I should say. Yep. Very fractional, and I guess I'd accept that maybe March will settle above it, but you got to think there's no way in hell it's got to hold it in April. Basic target 250. That does make me I'm literally asking myself now, okay, why would I not want to be short this? Yeah, I could think about, I should think about considering this is a short. Yeah. Anyway, interesting, huh? I have other stuff to do, and I'll probably do a gold silver miners video after this. But yeah, back later.